What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Journey Through the Dark Side. I'm Daniel.
I'm Simon.
Man, how was your Halloween?
Oh, spooky.
It was pretty spooky. I did
my favorite time of the year.
I did full bars this year. I should tell everybody, so this year we were handing out candy. We've been handing out candy the past couple of years. My whole thing is, me and Angela just get there, we put a movie on. This year we did Halloween for.
Nice.
And I usually kind of cover, like, you know, because I want to do, in our town, it runs for 2 hours. So.
Yeah, I think that's basically.
Is that,
yeah, it's about
so,
really, they're relaxed on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, you know, just like the cops patrolling, like, hey, what are you doing? It's 10 o'clock, fucker, get back in, you know. So, but, you know, usually we'll get a movie in, and then I'll cover it with a Halloween episode of a cartoon, like Simpsons or Family Guy. We did Family Guy this year, the one where Stewie gets his first Halloween. I don't know if you saw that year or not.
I probably have.
It's good stuff. But anyways, but we don't get a whole lot of fucking visitors. Like, Bedford has, like, 2 neighborhoods that get hit.
Bedford.
Oh my god! And anyway, Parts Unknown. Parts Unknown gets 2 neighborhoods that get hit, and literally our neighborhood just does never get, you know, at all. And so last year we bought you know, cheapy fucking candy because I'm thinking, all right, you know, people show up and give them a little bit of that. No, like literally we had like 5 visitors all night.
Wow.
It sucks. And but I'm like, fuck it, that's what I'm doing now. Like I'm too old to be trick or treating, even though Angel still wants to do it. Not making this up. Like 3 years ago we was trick or treating. And I'm 30-something years old. No, there's a limit. I know it's everyone's like, it's a kid at heart. No, when this guy shows up in a creepy outfit asking for candy, it's like, dude, seriously, fuck off. So anyways, I decided this year, I was like, you know what I'm going to do for those select few that do show up? Full fucking bars. Like, I don't buy that much anyways. Only 5 people are showing up. So went ahead and bought like 10.
That'll get you traffic next year.
Exactly. So then they don't get fucked next year. Because next year they'll be like, hey, you're already here, fucker. Enjoy your shitty candy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, Halloween was good and everything. But we're not here to talk about Halloween. Or even the Halloween season. What are we here to talk about?
Oh, Royal Rumble 1993. In the Arco Arena in Sacramento, California, with an attendance of... What do you think?
So 93, they're doing the dip now. Steroid scandal.
Ring boy scandal.
I'm just going to... yeah. I'm going to say 13,000.
16,000.
16,000.
I thought it would be a little higher. It looked a little higher than that. But.
It did. It actually does look pretty good. I noticed that, like, watching a lot of these, even like 95, when there was like really the shitter, it still looks like it's a packed house. And
I think they have a good way of doing it.
I'm sure they do. Put everybody on the.
I mean, we're getting like current Raws and SmackDowns with like 2,000 people, and they still make it look like a packed house.
Yeah. You just make sure no one's on this side of the game. Yeah. That's all you gotta do. Just don't take pictures from the other side. You know, you get that on Twitter, it's just like, there was nobody over there. It's funny. We're not bring it up again, so I'll hit it. There's a WCW event, an old one, like NWA, WCW, but they did that where they put everybody on one side and it's clear, but the camera from time to time is still pan around, and it's like, what are you? That defeats the whole purpose of that. Yeah. So it does kind of give them that cheap kind of whatever vibe. But so, anyways,
I will tell you something.
Is there?
You know what a month it's been. Just real quick, this is just a wrestling rant. You know, I'm also, well, I'm closer to the big 4-0 myself. But anyhow, and went through my wrestling phase 20 years ago. And again, probably 10 years before that. Like, you know, I kind of had my lull at the same time the WWF had theirs. But since 2001, 2002, right on the edge of the Ruthless Aggression era, like, I kind of bowed out again. And I'm telling you what, and I've came in and out every once in a while, and as people may know or not know, you know, we've done a wrestling podcast in the past, and we've done this and that. I've always been a fan of the video games and all that stuff, but it's like, this month, man, I don't know if you've been following it, but I don't know if it's a good thing or not. We'll have to see. Yeah. But some people may say oversaturation. I'm saying, like, man, wrestling's back. Yeah, no, it really is. And all kinds of different. I mean, there is literally something for everybody now. Yeah, at this point, there really is. You know, we're talking about Undertaker, we're talking about WWF, but I can't. It's not exactly my thing, but I can't talk good enough about NWA Power. I can. Love them. Yeah. Oh my God, they're fucking awesome. It is like 1984 all over again. Yeah. Studio wrestling, but it's in HD. Yeah. And, you know, I mean, exactly what you would think. Even everybody looks the part. Yeah, no, it has an awesome vintage feel. Corgan's done a really great job. Great to hear, Jim Cornette back on commentary. Yeah. It's just like,
I don't know. It really is. I remember, and I mean, you can vouch for this too. Like, I've always been a big champion for NWA.
Oh yeah.
And I think you're like me. We always kind of go for the underdogs, and it's not that I'm ever just anti-WWF. Like, don't get me wrong, or WWE. I just want them to be better than they are now. Like, and I think they are making steps to do that. But like, I was the guy in the Attitude Era that watched both Nitro and Raw. And yes, I liked Raw more, but at the same time, I love Nitro. Like, they had some good shit going on. So it was never like, well, it has to be one of these. No, it's like, no, I'm having fun watching both. And
never watched the second of Nitro till I got the network.
And so, like now, I feel like it's just weird to hear, like, fanboys, like, draw the battle lines. Like, they're taking the war word way too seriously.
Yeah.
And you're getting all these, like, fucking people that are like, it's AEW over. It's like, who cares? Watch them both. I mean, you don't have to like them both. And obviously, if one's doing better than the other one, sure. But it's like, don't just shit on the other one just for being the competition. And I feel like right now is the perfect time to be a wrestling fan because not only do you have, Raw and SmackDown, which I think have gotten significantly better in areas. There are some that, but still, fucking Fiend, even though they kind of botched him last month. But whatever. We're not here to talk about that. Not yet, anyways. But then, they're doing good. But NXT, storyline-wise, isn't doing great. But the in-ring stuff's phenomenal. Like, you cannot take nothing away from their in-ring shit.
The NXT thing seemed rushed.
Yeah.
And we know why.
Oh, exactly it. AEW is continually to kill it. And I think they're literally getting better. First one to admit, I haven't been watching all of them in their entirety. I've been kind of cherry-picking the matches. But from what I've seen, production-wise, has gotten a lot better. I think the in-ring stuff, it's shifting from indie spot show into more of a wrestling, a Cornette style, if you will, something that he'd be a little bit more proud of. Now, they still do have the occasional whatever, the Jimmy Havoc Darby Allin match was fucking awesome, though. Like, I don't care how spotty that was just, ugh. And that's what I'm saying, you're right. If you're a hardcore, just pure wrestling fan, NXT's probably going to be your thing. If you're more about the, I don't want to say ECW, but the more extreme indie style stuff, AEW is going to be your forte. If you like old school wrestling,
AEW's
NWA
appeal to somebody like me who's an Attitude Era kid.
Yeah, it really is the best way to describe it. Because I really thought NXT would make that shift to do more Attitude stuff, and they really haven't yet. They're still kind of, now we're only a month into this thing, but like still, it seems like they're still just, we're WWE with a little bit more of an edge. Whereas AEW seems like it's going, not just content, I'm just talking about feel.
Yeah.
The overall vibe. The chaotic, what the hell's going to happen next feeling that you get when you watch wrestling back in the day.
I know you missed it, but I watched the debut episode last month of Dynamite. I mean, from the, not necessarily the intro of the show, but like when it come out of the intro and it was the first thing you hear is Jim Ross's voice.
Yeah.
I mean, tear right now.
Oh, absolutely.
The camera is panning the crowd. I mean, close-up pans of the crowd, and then these big over pans of the crowd. There's fireworks going on.
It's like pyro. I mean, come on. It's like
this is Raw or Nitro.
It really was. Well, when you got Shivani and Ross,
Shivani,
and just I remember because he's right. I don't watch them live or whatever. I do results first, and then like I said, cherry pick what I want. But I did watch the opening, and it was instant goosebumps. Like it really was. Like fuck, it's back. Like it really is. And right now, I'm not back fully as a hardcore current wrestling fan.
Yeah.
But I'm about as close as I've ever been, since I've walked away from the sport completely. And then, like I said, if you're a fan of the old school shit, I would highly recommend NWA Power on YouTube. Definitely check it out.
Legit free on YouTube.
Yeah, 3 or 4 shows been up right now. AEW Dark has their own thing as well. So if you want more AEW, now I'll be honest with you, I've heard pretty good things, but I haven't watched it myself. But even Impact is kind of coming back. They're on Axis right now, and of course Ring of Honor, New Japan, they're still there. So I mean, it's like if you're a wrestling fan, my God, dude, you're jacking off like just nonstop. Weekly now. Like, I wish we had this much shit when I was a kid. Like, when I was into it, this was my wet dream right here.
But, I didn't mean to go on that big long rant, man, but it's just like, we talking about Halloween, I was just like, October, I was just like, dude, what a month it's been.
Speaking of October, I can't believe we didn't bring it up yet, we actually had a former world champion kind of endorse the show, gave us the old like.
Steve Austin?
No.
Okay, former world champion. Now
world champion. Okay. Yeah, there it is.
Man. Oh my God. You're shitting me. Was it Ric Flair?
No.
One more guess.
One more guess. One more guess.
Iron Sheik.
Oh my God, Sergeant Slaughter, the Sarge.
Yeah.
Dude, and that was really cool. And once again, thank you. I don't know what he thought of it because I really want to know. Like, I want to talk to him if he, if he wants to. I don't know if he's still watching or not. If you're a friend of the show, drop a line, dude. That bump in the Rumble last year we were talking about the 92. Goddamn, I just want to hear you talk about that bump. You just launch yourself across the ring, hit it, please. But either way, thank you, Slaughter. That seriously
that's
was
awesome.
like, jokes aside, awesome. And
Now spread the word, maggot.
Yes, let's get on now though. It's 93.
Yeah.
A year has passed since the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. Let's see.
What a difference a year makes.
It really does. A little bit of context on this one, I guess.
Yeah, context
is honestly, and not just this event. You're gonna notice this. Not necessarily in our matches, I guess, but in the events of '93, this was almost a year-long transitional period. It felt like because it seemed like it really was like they didn't quite know where they were going, and we're seeing the bigger, roided-up guys out. We do see Hogan return mid-year around WrestleMania time.
Yeah, Hogan's definitely a part-timer at this point.
And even then,
on his way out.
Yeah, and at this point, it's over. So we do see more of a passing of the torch, and we see a lot of the younger guys from that older generation. I don't know what you would call that generation. Pre-new generation, I guess. Golden Age, Hogan, I don't know. The good times. You're seeing the younger guys starting to come back up. So you're seeing, like, even though they kind of gave Bret Hart a crazy push in 92, you're seeing him actually kind of develop into his own here. You're seeing Shawn Michaels rise up. So you're seeing the new Razor Ramon is now, he was a heel. He actually starts off as a heel in the Rumble, but he kind of goes into his own. You see Diesel show up. So you're seeing all these new generation main eventers starting to emerge, but you're getting that weird period where you're seeing a lot of the older guard that are still hanging around.
It's definitely the Rumble is a good example of that. Like, I mean, you definitely see
it's a mix, and around this time, I know like Hacksaw Jim Duggan will stay around for a little bit longer, but it's just kind of weird. Like, I always felt like even as a kid, like, wow, you don't fit. And I didn't come out and decide he was too old, but it really, I mean, now looking back, it's like that's exactly what it was. Like, he was already way past his, or getting past his prime.
Yeah.
And we'll get to more examples later, but it's just kind of funny to see this shift. But even then, like, the shift they were going to, it wasn't like they shifted hard to, like, the next generation, because honestly, you get a lot of guys who were just kind of here for this period before, like, the new generation really did kind of kick into gear. So it is kind of a fun time capsule, if you will, of just kind of where the company was at, as a whole.
There was a lot of guys that you could watch and go, in a year or two, they're all going to be in WCW.
Yeah. Yep. Or just gone.
Well, yeah.
And we'll get a few of them too, where you're just like, yep, this guy just out completely. Or you'll see like ones who, like I said, were young, who were just like, holy shit, they have no idea, but in a couple of years they're going to be the next big thing.
And I'll say, without spoiling or anything, but I mean, even the winner of this was like definitely an example of like, hey, this is where we're going to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
so this is the first Rumble that has the stipulation of the winner will go on to face the champion at WrestleMania.
I was, again, posers, more forgetful of anything else from that time period, but I couldn't remember when that actually started.
And
so, real quick,
go ahead.
Do you prefer like the last year Rumble, where the winner of the Rumble just gets the title, or do you like this?
I'm kind of torn. I'll be honest with you.
For the title.
And now it's so easy to be like, well, we prefer this because tradition, because it is now at this point.
Yeah. But where we're at right now, it's not tradition.
Exactly.
They're trying it.
Honestly, go back to, I like it when the champion could be in the Rumble, but it doesn't mean anything. It's just Royal Rumble for bragging rights. If the champion wins, awesome. If someone else wins the Rumble, they got a claim to the title, I would think. And you can build a feud that way.
Okay.
Because once again, this is the only time of year that you get this Rumble, and I always just kind of like the idea of like when Hogan, clearly is the only person I can think of, but when Hogan was champion, was mixing up in the Rumble, and it was just kind of like, just like everybody else, like he's not special. And I always feel like, dude, it's like, you go through hell winning a Rumble. Like, kayfabe, you go through everything. Just to go to a singles match where you could just lose and just straight up one-on-one, it's just like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like, or even if you do win, I'll be thinking like, yeah, I beat you, but I beat 2,900 fuckers back here earlier, so it's like, duh, this was nothing. I'm sorry if I had to face Chris Jericho at WrestleMania, like Triple H. It's like Triple H went through, after coming back from his quad surgery, defeating 29 other guys. When he came down to fight Jericho, it was just very lackluster. You're like, dude, shouldn't you just get the title at the Royal Rumble? Like, seriously? Like, and so you get that kind of a vibe, or at least I do, when I'm watching these where I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, if you're going to do anything, then yes, make the title on the line. But if I had my, like, give me the book, I take over, new direction, it's going to be like, no, at this point, everybody's going to be in a Rumble, and we'll, WrestleMania rolls around, guess what? We're going to have a number one contender.
Yeah.
Like, so if there's this guy who wins the Rumble, I'm okay with that stipulation. But then if the guy who's the champion in there, I think it'd be kind of fun to be like, okay, well, shit, I'm clearly the best. I'm the champion. I just beat everybody in the Rumble. Who's next? And then you get your surprise, like, Brock Lesnar shows up or whatever. So it's like, you can write good stories around that.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is.
I thought it would be cool. You get the title at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like that too. Yeah.
The champion's in the Rumble, but he comes in like 30th.
Okay, so you're saying he defends, not just... Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, gotcha, yeah.
Or 28, he comes in at the end.
I was going to say, do the Hogan-Taker thing from last year where they get a good number kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be coming out one, but then, you do have to kind of earn your stripes as well. I like that.
And then,
what happens, happens.
You've earned that spot.
And especially in this day, back then it's different, but in this day and age when you got two, I don't know if NXT is considered a main brand or not, but if you got three champions, then it's kind of thing too where,
you've got 2 months to still build that epic WrestleMania match.
Absolutely. So I feel like you can still have your title matches on the show. You can decide which titles online. You can do numerous things. Like, again, that's the job of creative to come up with storylines. So,
Yeah.
But, no. So, yeah. But this is the first time we get it. I will say, my God. So I've been watching, and we're getting close to getting caught up where I'm at right now, reviewing these old pay-per-views. I just watched this entire pay-per-view about a month ago. God damn it. From the last, I forget what the Hart, Ramon match. Fucking Razor should have won the title. Fuck it. Anyways, my favorite wrestler of all time, by the way, Razor Ramon. But after the World Title match,
no, that's Scott Hall.
it takes, my God, like 20 minutes to get to the Rumble, because you get this whole Lex Luger intro where they introduce him as the narcissist, and there's a whole, like, 10-minute segment, which is, it goes too long. And then we do this ridiculous intro of Julius Caesar and Cleopatra coming out, and did you just go straight to the match, or did you watch any of this build-up?
I just watched the match.
Okay,
yeah.
So there's a whole build-up where Julius Caesar and Cleopatra comes out with all these Roman slaves. One of them is Louis Piccoli, who is going to become Rad Radford and
well,
just Louis Piccoli. Anyways, but he's one of the actual Roman slaves. I thought that was kind of funny. But anyways, we did this whole it's all the pomp and circumstance that you're going to get leading into WrestleMania 9, which is Caesar's Palace. It's grand and epic, but it's like, fuck, we just want to watch Rumble. And I remember as a kid going, fuck. And it's just like, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just never fast forward when I was a kid. Like, in my mind, I guess I just had to watch the whole thing. I just never picked and choose then. So as a kid, I'm just like, Rumble, let's get to it.
I would agree there too, because I, especially in those days, late 80s, early 90s, like, definitely wasn't getting pay-per-views, but I was a Coliseum video, renter. And you pop the tape in, you throw the remote across the room, and you watch it like you're watching it live.
Absolutely.
Now, by this time, you already know what has happened. There's probably been 2 or 3 more pay-per-views since that release, but yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the network's a little differently. Now, if I was going to watch the whole pay-per-view, it would. I'd turn it on.
Well, you begin this part, you'd be like, okay, fuck, I'm hitting fast forward, because I'm not gonna lie.
I'll pause,
yeah,
because now that I'm old enough to, I might go pause and have a smoke or something. But
you didn't have a smoke when you was like 10 years old?
I did not.
Okay.
No, I was like 11, 12.
Totally, exactly, yeah.
No.
The proper age.
No.
So anyways, interesting side notes before we get to the actual Rumble. This is the final pay-per-view. Monsoon and Heenan calling it together. But I will say, on a side note, coming off of Royal Rumble 2, 92, which was the best the two have ever been, this one isn't nearly as good, I don't think, as far as commentary goes. Like, I mean, Heenan definitely has his break moments, but I feel like Monsoon was clearly...
I was definitely going to say that, like, I thought after you... Because I didn't know that was their last one.
Yeah.
Thanks for the trivia. Not great commentary.
It really wasn't, and like I said, I think Heenan's doing the best he can, but there's a certain time, like, Heenan would say something, and then, like, Monsoon would just mishear it, and just, like, start going off on a weird tangent. It was like, and it's not just because Heenan would go on to be commentator for the rest of the year in WWF before he go to WCW, but Monsoon would slowly be phased out. He would do he would host WrestleMania 9, and then from there on out, they started doing a short-lived WWF radio where overseas and just other places, I guess, that couldn't get pay-per-view, you could listen to it, essentially. And Jim Ross and Monsoon was kind of the two guys that did that.
Okay.
And I guess it's one of those things where it's like, if you can't see it, next thing you can hear it, and at that point you don't even care. You're like, fuck it. If it's Monsoon being bad, it's better than nothing, I guess. So that's kind of the, but it's kind of a little like, sound like, kind of like, I mean, I know you say, JR and King's yours, but Heenan and Monsoon have always been my number one. And so it is kind of like a, but once again, it's a passing of guard. Like I said, transitional period this year was, so we've seen a lot of changes. So let's get into, I guess, the
also
Rumble.
the first pay-per-view of the Monday Night Raw era.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because I think they mentioned Monday Night Raw.
They do, yeah.
It had just excuse me, folks.
I'll carry on from here, but he's right because actually shortly after this,
January 24th. So I think that Raw had just debuted. It was getting ready to,
and it already has. And then they already set up a match for the following night, which was Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect. We'll get more on that in a minute. Leading into this Rumble, there actually was. I remember vaguely around this time that they were building up. There wasn't a lot to build up, but they were building up certain people, and they were bringing like feuds that never really, like old feuds that honestly have been buried for a while. Example, Strike Force. Tino said El Matador, not Tino said El Matador, and Rick Martel. I remember leading up to this, they're like, oh wow, these guys can't wait to get their hands on each other. I'm like, well, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, no, like it's been a while.
Yeah.
And the fact that they never even touched that in '92 was just kind of like, But here, I'm not on pay-per-view themselves, even though they do clash. It just kind of like, it just seemed like a weird time where it's like, yeah, these guys are really wanting to get at each other. Flair and Perfect are literally at odds right now because Perfect has made a return to wrestling, and without going through the whole history of it, Warrior drops out at Survivor Series, and it's
what happened there?
Oh wow! Just creative differences is all it was. And so, anyways, it was Razor Ramon, Ric Flair going up against Savage with nobody in his corner, and Heenan's kind of bad mouth name and everything. Well, Perfect decided uncharacteristically too, because like I hated Perfect whenever he's a face. He did face from time to time. I just never bought it.
Well, Perfect was a perfect heel.
He's a perfect asshole. Like he really was. He's so cocky and smarmy. But he, for whatever reasons, because I just need someone, I guess, he stands up like, I'll be Savage's partner. And he's just like, really? And so, but anyways, Heenan's pissed and he's mad at him. So it starts a feud between. And it's funny because Savage at this point is transitioning back. At this point, he already is transitioning back into part-time wrestling or part-time commentating / wrestler as well. So it's just like this whole build-up just kind of left us with Perfect and Flair feuding, and I didn't even want that feud. Like that's a feud I didn't even care about. So I'm just like, I like him better as Flair being awesome and Perfect being his hype man. Like that to me is the best. Yeah. So, and with Heenan singing their praises on commentary, so this just did nothing for me. But that was what's going on. In real life, Flair is on his way out and has asked for his release, and so the deal is he comes in here, and of course he comes at number one. Worst luck with Rumbles, Flair. Yeah. But he comes at number one, but his deal is also at Raw the next night. It's a loser leave town match, and so he has to put over. So, but Flair's always been professional, and he's no problem there. And then Taker at this point, he just kind of wrapped up his big feud of Kamala, and he's just ready to get back on track. Like he's like, you know what? I'm former world champion. I want the title back. I'm going to Rumble. I mean, what's going to stop him from doing that?
How's that going to work
exactly. I mean, he's getting fucking. I remember.
How's that going to work out for the fans?
Yeah, well, I remember leading up to this. It seemed like, honestly, it was Taker. Like, it was Taker's time. And they kind of hyped him up big time as being probably. It seemed like it was him, Yoko. They did tease Flair and Perfect quite a bit. And Savage was like your main five. They kind of, because they always have a handful that are like, these are, and those seem like to be the main five they were talking about. But I remember more than anything else, Taker seemed like, at least from a kid. Now once again, I didn't go back and rewatch these old shows, but it seemed like to me then it was like Taker's the new Hogan. Like Hogan was always a given, he's gonna win. This year is like, well, Taker's gonna win. Like there's no way he's not gonna win this. See how it works out for him. All right, so we start off with Ric Flair and Bob Backlund. My voice is going out, guys, just so you guys know. So you're going to hear a lot of Bob Backlund. It's going to be because
he's a big Bob Backlund fan. Quick question here. Yeah. I don't know if I caught it. How old was Bob Backlund in this match?
43. They definitely say that several fucking times. To Heenan's credit, though, he makes fun of Backlund's age perfectly throughout this thing. Okay.
Which is funny Flair is 6 months older than Bob Backlund.
Is he really? I did not know
Yes.
that. I was wondering that because as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, well, Flair can't be too far behind. I didn't know he was older.
6 months
That's
older.
brilliant. I was honestly figuring like Flair's probably 43.
43.
Wow, he's 43 also.
43. And they're acting like that's
Too
ancient mommy.
It is. Well, you know what? Something with Flair, Flair's fucking
Of
timeless.
course, he's
I don't give a
already
shit.
20 years into his career.
Exactly.
Apparently had been retired for 10 years or something.
So Backlund comes up, and I just love Heenan's calling him Opie, calling him just big for his age, everything else. It is kind of funny though that they bring him in. I'm not sure if this is intended. I mean, once again, he could go too. We praised Flair last year for literally not just going in there and laying down, mixing it up. That was the exception of one moment here, which to me was more for story and probably to give Backlund a break. For the most part, Backlund's in there mixing it up the entire thing. I like seeing at the time. I'll be honest with you, I was not a Backlund fan when I was a kid. Just wasn't. As an adult, I appreciate him a lot more.
Yeah,
he had
Backlund's short return during the Attitude Era.
I do like. Now I liked it in that. God, I hate this guy so much, but he's so funny. That was what I was into at that point when he came back that time.
Never once did they make fun of his age there.
No, just he was just
in his 50s.
the senile or whatever. But here, I remember as a kid didn't like the
And he
amateur
came back
look.
again.
For Darren Young, wasn't it? He's his manager or whatever.
How many years ago? Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years
Yeah,
ago?
it wasn't too long. And he's like Darren Young would jump in his arms and shit. I'm like, dude, this dude's like 80 or some shit. Like, goddamn, you're gonna break this guy in half.
Bob Backlund, I mean, really,
No, honestly, much props. And the fact that like
give us a like on Twitter.
in the does he know what Twitter is? Oh, he does, because he has this whole Darren Young thing where we're getting him on social media.
Yeah.
Anyways, Backlund, he went the distance, and the crowd does not give a shit early on. When he comes out to no music, he has a jobber entrance almost, and
But
you know,
do you think anyone would know who he was? I mean, I know we're talking 93.
You know, that's a good question.
He was a legend.
Yeah.
You know, in the New York
Yep.
area. Now
We're in Sacramento,
yeah,
though.
we're in Sacramento.
So,
So it's like, and that's one thing.
if you're not at home, because at home they're telling you who he is. On TV, I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. Or, I mean, at the live crowd, I'm not sure if everybody's just like, who's this old guy? Or
And real quick, what a battle of the territories right there.
oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
Legend of the North versus
Legend of the South. There it was. All right there. And this
Came out at about the same time,
Yep.
same age.
You know what's kind of great, too, is, jumping ahead, Lawler shows up, a legend of his own territory, and it really was seeing like three icons from their eras in one ring. It was pretty impressive. But what I love about Backlund is, when he comes out, nothing. Like, no one cares. But, as the match goes on, dude, crowd gets into it.
Almost as if, well, who the fuck is this guy? Like, is he some new guy?
Exactly.
Like, holy shit,
the fact that he's old and
man.
he had this weird, like, he's amateur, but it sticks out. Like,
oh man, I can't wait to see where he goes. Like, man,
it really was crazy. And of course, I'm guessing this is exactly the reason was, but I think, Flair's on his way out. This is Vince's way of just going like, no, exactly. As a kid, even as an adult, forgetting that he did the Iron Man this time around, I was just kind of like, really? And the fact that he keeps going, but you can't help but root for him. But clearly Vince was just like, yep, Flair's out. Not only are we going to send Flair out, we're going to get someone that we're going to pretend's older than him, he's not. Someone out, fresh out of retirement. And literally somebody...
So you think that was what it was about?
Absolutely. Just to stick it to him. Because he only beats the Iron Man record by a couple minutes, if that. I mean, it wasn't by much. Yeah. So it was just like, clearly they were
I know they said he's got like a minute to go to get and he was on the ropes then, and it wasn't long after that he got tossed out.
Almost like they're just like, all right, and okay, now toss him. And they sure enough, they had the spot and everything else. But so Backlund comes out. Awesome seeing him. It was kind of annoying. Now, granted, they have two different colors hair, so it's okay. But they both wore like red underwear. I'm like, or red tights. I'm just like, really? But I guess like, what's Flair going to say? He's on his way out. So up next, Papa Shango.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God! And he lasts like less than a minute. I was like, God, really? I'm a fan. Like, I'm a fan of gimmicky wrestling. I don't care
another
how
guy that goes right into my horror wrestler category.
Yeah, absolutely.
Category for sure.
Dude, he made Warrior look like a bitch and puke up black blood. So guess what? Pop Shango's also. But guess what he can't do is take out two 40-year-old fucking guys in the ring. He gets dumped out by both. It's like, son of a bitch.
His booty wasn't as strong yet.
No. Gets out that. Well, he was on his way out that too. So he's just like, I should give this up. I'm not gonna take
He went to become the Supreme Fighting Machine.
That's it. The Supreme Fight Machine. Yeah. And then of course he starts smoking some blunts and get some hoes and You know what it's all about. Up next, we get Ted DiBiase. And I forgot Ted DiBiase was in this one. I forgot also he has a decent run in this one.
How good is Ted DiBiase? I mean, for real.
Awesome. I said no jokes aside. Dude's a great technician, and
I'm not saying main event world championship class, but
you've always felt like it is past at this point past it. But in the '80s when he was competing against Hogan,
yeah.
Probably should have gave it to him. And when we fight with Savage, I think that would have been the time to put the title on him. No, honestly, I agree. And even here, because he's getting to the end of his career coming up, and he still has a couple more matches in him, but you can tell he getting to the end. But he's still out there bumping like a motherfucker. Still out there just putting on a hell of a show. And as a kid, I hated it because he was a $1 million man.
Of course.
As an adult, it's like, completely respect this motherfucker. And dude, he goes in for like 25 minutes in this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn. And they even kind of bring up...
He's a former Iron Man, right?
Former Iron Man. Broke it back in 90. And it's funny, too, because when he is out there, Monsoon says... Because when he ran it now, he only ran like 30 minutes. But I mean, once again, that was incredible time. Monsoon's like, he was in for over an hour last time. And I'm like, no, he wasn't. Like, at all.
Yeah.
And it's just like... First sign that Monsoon's kind of slipping, you know. So anyway, the Ted DiBiase goes in there and does really good. Up next we get Brian Knobbs, who this would be his last pay-per-view. He's leaving the company shortly, going to WCW.
Knobbs comes in like a fucking maniac.
House of Fire, but doesn't last long. Literally goes for like 2 minutes, and then he goes for...
I was a Nasties fan, so...
I wasn't. I didn't want to take the trip to Nastyville. But I haven't watched all their WCW stuff yet, so I may get back to you on that one. But right now,
well, that doesn't exist.
Oh, so yeah, so it may be different. I may come back next month and be like, guess what? Nasties, and you'll be like, eh.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Brian Knobbs comes out here, and he, like I said, he does give like a House of Fire like he did in '91. Same thing, comes in and starts tearing up everybody. But yeah, he didn't make it too far. Then we have Virgil. That's the other thing. They bring up the Virgil DiBiase feud going into this as well in the build-up, and I remember thinking like. That was like 2 years ago. Like literally, like they both moved on. But Virgil does go after Ted DiBiase.
Immediately, yeah.
Virgil has he's there for 17 minutes. Are you fucking kidding me? That's so stupid.
That's
a misprint.
Virgil typed that.
Yeah, I was like, he went and like, I mean, he doesn't do anything, but I mean, he's a warm body. So, then we get Jerry Lawler. Interesting side note here. This is the event that the alleged crapping in the Crown took place. Apparently. Okay. Those of you who don't know, I won't go into too much detail, but apparently, I guess whenever he was wrestling a lot of these guys back in their early days, and he'd beat them in the Memphis territory, he had all the tapes, so he would show those tapes all the time. So when they're like Hogan or Flair, it's like, I'm the world champion. He's like, yeah, I beat that guy. Look at this. And so people were pissed at him. Now, I guess he came in, depending on who you hear, maybe he's running his mouth, maybe he wasn't. But people decided to take it into their own hands, and they took his crown, and they each took a nice little shit in it. Now, how many people did it? Who knows? But
I didn't think Waltman was around yet.
Oh, not yet. Anyways, give it time. Give it time. He'll poop in that thing. Shit, Sam, that's gross. Anyways,
I think that's like, because I mentioned the last year's Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of Flair. It wasn't Flair's debut, but like
But no, it's the first time he's going to interact with a bulk of the roster.
Like I said, it seemed to me like all the old like NWA and Crockett,
the territory guys,
the territory guys that were there, like they all. I mean, like you said, if you watch it closely, everybody gets it. But it seems like those guys made a beeline for Flair every time,
and
just real quick. Let me,
And
it's
I
like
noticed here because Flair and Lawler are both heels. Now, granted, it's every man for himself, but even in the Rumble,
dude,
you
they were
see that division.
the shit
going at it. And I was like, holy shit!
Well, at first I was like, is this real? Like, do they?
Yeah. Well, I remember he just had his hat shit in, so I'd be pretty pissed as well. Like, because I mean, and Flair's been known to.
Did he know it?
Oh yeah, that's why he don't come out with it because he literally goes to pick up his hat and he's like, "Fuck," and he's pissed. So, and of course, that's why he ended up not doing the road ring. He didn't do anything. He's just like, nope, his hat got shit in.
Flair did it.
I'm sure he was in on it. According to Bret Hart, I guess
that's who fucking did it.
I'm sure
he's got stories about everything.
He claims he didn't. He goes, I saw it, and I'm like, I bet you may have though, because I see like.
How do you see it? Like,
well, apparently they had it outside the shower on a stool, and literally they just left it there. And I guess whoever decided to do it, they did the first shit, and then when people walk by, go, oh, this is what we're doing. Okay. And so
what I'm saying is like we've been close friends for a long time. We've been through the highs and the lows. Man.
Absolutely.
But if you decide like, I mean, not here, not in my living room, but like if you decide that you're going to take a shit, like as soon as I see I didn't see anything.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. That's just.
I wouldn't be like.
That's the way.
I watched it.
Yeah. No, that's the thing.
I watched the guy get shit. No.
I feel like that's. But once again, wrestlers are a different breed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I can literally see them just going like.
They're like probably just as nasty as like prisoners.
I'm sure that mentality, especially in that era too.
Yeah.
I mean, like this era, it's like everybody's too polite and PC and everything. But back then, they're like. Shit in the crown? Yeah, man, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
I want to do it, yeah.
So, but it was cool seeing, like I said, Backlund, Lawler, and Flair all in
that
there.
Was
it's just kind of a cool thing
right there. Like older guys, like still like were outperforming. Like
yeah. Outshining. I mean, outperforming. Whatever you want to say, but no, they definitely had. Another thing I didn't realize it then, but
three guys
they had ring presence. Like
yeah.
You are drawn to them. Papa Shango didn't have that ring presence, unfortunately. He gets in there. I mean, not because they had a short thing. A lot of guys come in there colorful, geared up with wacky gimmicks. They had no presence though. You're just kind of like, you're constantly watching these big guys, these main guys, these old school, so.
I mean, they may not, in Vince's eyes, nobody knows who Lawler is. Nobody knows who Flair is, blah, blah, blah. But, Backlund, though.
Yeah. He was a former world champion.
Yeah, in Northeast Territory.
Yep.
But it's like, people knew, and they all got pops.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, absolutely. I mean,
this is before Lawler was known as a commentator.
Exactly.
Like he was a wrestler.
It's the other thing, and
he
I
hosted
always felt bad.
Superstar.
They mentioned, he's on there with Lawler.
Yeah, they mentioned it a couple of times as if to say, like, it's just the host of Superstar.
Exactly. And the other thing is, as a kid, that's how I've always perceived Lawler. It wasn't until I mentioned this last time we talked about him, but it wasn't until years later that I knew, like, holy shit, this guy's a legend on,
I didn't know in Memphis, and again, Parts Unknown is within the Memphis television radius.
Yeah.
So Memphis TV was available where I was from. I just never watched it.
And the thing
USWA.
And I was gonna say it was after years of seeing Lawler as this weaselly kind of heelish chicken shit guy, I started watching USWA where he was still a good guy, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? But not as a good guy, a heroic stand up fight. I'm like, what the.
How shitty was that?
And so that made me honestly look low at SW or USWA because I'm thinking like, well, he sucks up here, so if he's the best of everybody down there, clearly no one's good down. You know what I mean?
So, anyways, this is another two-party. This is another two-parter.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this will definitely be.
Side note: a month or so ago, I can't remember what it was. It was probably about a month ago. Mm-hmm. This guy texts me out of the blue. He was like, "Gotta check out NWA Power."
Yeah,
back on that whole thing. But anyways, he's like, it's studio wrestling, it's this. And I'd heard some stuff from Cornette's podcast about it. Mm. Nothing about it really interested me because it was like, and that was kind of the joke I told him. I said, USWA ruined studio wrestling for me. Because it was horribly produced.
It was bad, yeah.
It looked horrible. So anyway, so I went back and watched it. It's it's definitely not AEW or WWE.
Yeah.
But so yeah, USWA like just ruined studio wrestling.
So, but for me, I just never could take Lawler as a serious threat. So it was like every one of these matches I've seen him in from here on out. Now I can watch him with a different perspective, but as a kid, it was just kind of like, how is he winning? How is he dominating right now? Like I just never bought it.
Host of Superstars,
exactly. And so even in the Rumble, I was like, he has a better shot because he can cheap shot people. But even then, it's like, dude, that's gonna run out on you eventually. But it is what it is. But he's going for like 14 minutes. Up next, we got Max. Oh.
Virgil was in longer than Lawler?
Yeah, Virgil's in longer than Lawler, yeah. Virgil Iron Man Lawler in this one, so isn't that fucked up? Ain't that about a bitch? So up next we get Max Moon.
Was this Conan?
It was not. So initially it was supposed to be Conan, and it fell through. This is Paul Diamond, who you would know as he was Kato in the Orient Express, the one with the mask.
Okay.
Because he wasn't actually. No. So he was actually partners with Tanaka in AWA. They were called Bad Company. And then it was like Tanaka could speak English, and Paul Diamond's a white guy hanging out with him. And then when they bring Sato and Tanaka into WWF, they're like, nope, you guys can't speak English. You guys are Japanese, because Japanese are bad because they're not Americans.
Yeah.
And that's their whole gimmick. Well, then when Sato leaves, they bring in Tanaka's former partner, and they're like, yeah, we got chemistry. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll put a mask on you. You're Japanese now. You're Kato. And he's like, I'm Paul Diamond, like I'm American. He's like, yeah, you're Japanese. And that was it. So this was his first break after this one. I think Tanaka's already gone, if I'm not mistaken. And so they're trying to, and this wasn't even meant for him. Like Paul Diamond fell out backwards into this gimmick, but it was meant for Conan, who at the time was like the Hulk Hogan of Mexico.
Yeah.
So he's big coup, but it didn't work out. He leaves. And so Paul Diamond steps in and probably thinking like, I did it. I'm finally got a gimmick that's going to make it. And this is his only pay-per-view appearance. And he only lasts like, a minute 56 is what he lasts here.
Gimmick that like just seemed even too ridiculous for WWF at that time.
And I was a kid and I thought it was ridiculous, sorry.
And how many times did he not just adjust, but almost literally have to put the mask back on or turn it around?
It was literally like Conan's mask, and he was just like, shit, can I get a new mask? And it's like, there's no money in the budget, pal.
Get that little kid wearing like a my mask or something.
And so I could almost even see him. I'm sure it was, but I could almost see him just going like this. I can't wrestle. He goes, just have him throw me out. He's like, it's gonna kill your gimmick, pal. He's like, I don't care. You know what? At this point, I just don't care. Throw me out. I'll be back. And he went
another mask.
Yeah. So Max Moon, that's him. Next we got Tenryu.
Because I was like, because again, been watching the shit out of AEW, and they always have the Japanese stars, which I'm completely. I don't know who they are. You know, I'm just
unaware.
I'm just ignorant of that whole New Japan and Old Japan and All Japan.
Yeah.
I'm just ignorant of that whole thing. I know it's great, and I know there's some good stuff, but it's like. And I remember when he was coming down the ring, like I'm in that mentality. I'm waiting for this big pop. I'm like, oh yeah, this is '93. Nobody knew who these guys were.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I'm sure he was just a massive superstar in Japan.
And the thing is, this ain't even his first WWF appearance. He was in a tag match because they had a working relationship with some company in Japan. He and his partner Katal defeated Demolition at WrestleMania 7.
Oh wow!
So he already has. Established a bit, a little bit.
Repo, I mean, sorry, I fucking
Going to crush. Anyways, no, so he literally destroyed them, and it was pretty much a squash match. So it's like, you would have thought they would have built on that even. It's been like, hey, it's the guy, Tenryu. They do say, he's a Japanese wrestler from Japan, but they don't even try to build on the fact that, like, he's been here before, he's won over an established tag team, nothing. There's like, that's Tenryu. And you get that a lot throughout the rest of this. Like, you get a lot of this, like, that's this guy.
And again, back on the AEW thing, yes, I'm sucking their cocks right now.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, they'll do that. I think, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur all know that, like, the majority of us Americans don't know a lot about these Japanese wrestlers. And they will go, even sometimes it gets a little boring and it gets a little like, okay, yeah, cool.
I like that though. I do like that, yeah. I know what you're saying.
They at least give you the story. Like, why is this guy here? Why is this girl here? Who is he? Who is she? What
Whereas Vince is just telling his guys, don't say nothing. They don't know. They don't know. It's the bubble.
He's just going to come out, he's going to lose, and that's going to be the end of it.
He goes for 13 minutes, though. Does pretty good. And once he's another guy I see that goes right after Flair and Lawler. So I just wonder, I don't know much about Tenryu beyond this, so if anybody does know, drop it down below. But I just wonder, like, did he have some territory running? Because he goes after both, and it's great. So then we get, at number 10, Mr. Perfect. Huge pop comes out. People are like, yeah.
Again, like a firecracker.
Dominates. What's great, though, is there's a part where Virgil holds somebody. I forget who it is. For Perfect. And Perfect just blows him off. And it's just awkward Virgil holding the guy going, well, fuck. And then after like, dude, it was good. But Perfect sees it. It's not like he doesn't. Perfect looks at him and just
didn't see it.
And he's just like, no. And he walks away. I'm just like, oh, Virgil, I'm sorry, buddy.
Not getting the assist.
Not getting it at all. And it's just like, holy shit. So Perfect goes in. We get to our first cool moment because he eventually does throw out Flair, which insane. I remember he's as a kid thinking like, well, I don't think Flair's going to win it. Because at this point, when I was a kid, I had all my chips on Undertaker, not just because it's a show. I was a huge Taker fan then. And at this point, the face, exactly. And at this point, it felt like he was the guy. At least in my opinion. I know, looking back, like, no, he definitely wasn't. He was a sideshow guy. But at my point, world champion, he's going to go to WrestleMania, 9. So, I remember thinking, like, Flair's going to make it pretty far to the end, probably, but he ain't going to win this thing. And I was shocked, like Heenan, when he gets thrown out. I was like, holy shit, but in a different way. Like, whereas Heenan was, like, crying. I was like, oh, yes, finally. Perfect would go on, and he would have eliminated Lawler as well. But then what happens is he gets caught on the outside, and I forget who the people have shoved him out. One's a heel, and I can look it up. I can't right now, actually. Coco Beware and Teddy Biati. So DiBiate's pushing. Coco Beware will get there. It's like, dude, what a dick. But I mean, he doesn't remember for himself. But then Lawler grabs onto Perfect as well.
Yeah.
Tugs him, and then they start. That feud goes nowhere either. So it's just kind of like.
Now we saw a similar spot last Rumble.
Yeah.
And you weren't too happy about that. How do you feel about that still being a thing to where somebody who just got eliminated, no longer legally in the match,
Yeah.
and I guess we're going to see that.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah.
Eliminating somebody. You think the officials could say, hey,
Now, when I said I wasn't big on it last time,
get back in.
It wasn't necessarily from a kayfabe perspective, because I get it. Like, I understand the reason behind doing that. As a kid is what I was upset about, because I mean, it's fucking Hogan, you know. I was like, don't fucking, did you screw over Hogan? And then the fact that, or Hogan got thrown out, I was like, dude, like, you're being a dick right now. Because I mean, as a kid, and this is my hero, and to see him kind of heel out on Sid Justice, that's what I was upset about.
He healed a lot.
He did. And so, I get it. As a kid, I was probably pretty upset. And I mean, I like Perfect, even though I never buy him as a full-on face. I was usually brainwashed by the product, so whenever they're like, Daniel, this is a good guy now, I'm like, he's a good guy now.
Okay.
He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy now. I was that stupid kid. With the exception of Razor Ramon, he's the one that kind of broke me out of that a little bit. But, you know, still, at 93, I'm still kind of cookie cutter. So, I remember being somewhat upset, but at the same time, it's like, it wasn't my guy. You know, it's not Taker.
Well,
so, it's like, we'll get to that. But anyway, so I was like, as long as you're pushing a story forward, I'm okay with it. I mean, usually it does. But here it's funny because it doesn't. Perfect and Lawler do not feud after this. So, it's just kind of like, what was the point?
It's one of those things that
Flair? Would it make more sense for Flair to be the one to kind of do it?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, huh? Because that would have led to the Monday Night War or Monday Night Raw match, which would have led, you know, that would have made more sense. But Lawler just seems like, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess.
But, yeah, I mean, you know, and they both left town.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was
But
saying.
anyways, it just seems like over the course of even today, like from then on now, you know, rules are continually being changed,
Altered, just how it goes, yeah.
and you know, manipulated and this and that and everything else, and it's like, you know, sometimes it's like, man, what the fuck, like, well, just 2 years ago you didn't allow that.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I get it because I mean, I don't want to be like
I think a motherfucker. This is me, straight up from the beginning, from the first Royal Rumble on to right now. You can only be eliminated from the match if someone who's legal in the match, in the ring, throws you out of the ring. That's it.
Yeah.
If you get pulled out by somebody else,
throw yourself out. No, myself. Okay.
No, not even eliminating yourself. Now, if you run to the back or something, maybe they put a count on you.
Yeah. See, they did that with one of the Battle Royals in WrestleMania 4. George Steele would not get in the ring. I don't know what the real story was, but he didn't get in the ring. And so they eventually just said, okay, you're fucking eliminated then. Like, he never was actually eliminated, but he got eliminated. So I agree with that. I like that. If you're not in the ring by a certain amount of time, then you're, I mean, I guess it's a Battle Royal, you can't be counted out. I'm okay with that, actually, though. I do like that.
But the rules become a little, like, distorted at times.
Yeah, they're lax. They're very lax at this point.
And it's like, you know, but WWF is bad about an E, mostly the E.
Yeah, I don't say, mostly them.
It's bad about, like, rewriting and rearranging history and kind of, you know.
You talking about the Hell in a Cell last month? Anyway.
What was that?
Oh, yeah, it didn't happen. I'm ignoring it. They ignored it too, so it's okay. Anyways,
somebody help me out.
Yeah, comment down below for us, please. So yeah,